Here we go. It is the Ouyen United Kangas report, and I'll tell you what, am I excited because anything Sam can do, Jack can do better. That is what we saw, and to talk about it and all things Ouyen United Kangas footy is none other than Andrew Wilsmore. Hey Andrew, how are you?
Good, mate. Good. Great to be speaking to the most knowledgeable man in football in the country. How are you, mate?
I think you're exaggerating, but I'll tell you what, I'm not exaggerating when I talk about this young Jack O'Shaughnessy. He's kicked 7, he's best player. He's been part of a 10-goal onslaught in the last quarter that put Mildura's tagging game to bed. And you got to say it, at 15 years of age, this is a stunning performance from the kid.
An absolutely spectacular debut. Look, I won't say he's been living in his older brother's shadow, but the kid can play. We've lost Sam last week, and we've been trying to keep Jack under wrap, but due to an illness, we brought him in, thought we'd give him a crack. Look, he just played out of his skin. He's fearless. He's great overhead, got wonderful ball skills. He's just a ripper kid too. He's always got a smile on his face. But look, we'll try and keep him as long as we can, but probably down the track we might lose him to a better comp, I think.
Fantastic though, because it took the pressure off of your midfield goal kicking. Kane in the end got real mobile in the last quarter. He ended up with 5, but Dallas just a couple. And it really does, when you've got somebody who can kick that bigger bag of goals, even Jamal Daly's 3 goals, this puts a lot more pressure on the defensive unit. They've tried to put pressure on your ball carriers by tagging, but in the end, your blokes were able to overcome them, and your midfield in the end starts to kick goals, particularly in that last quarter.
Yeah, look, it was really tough sort of game. Really hard to get any sort of momentum or any system sort of going. They came out and played really tight, tough footy. We knew that was going to happen when you played a bottom or a lower team. So it took us a little while to adapt and to get where we wanted to be. So look, it was 2 or 3 kicks in it at 3/4 time, believe it or not, and we finally broke the shackles, and the boys got off the chain in the last quarter, and yeah, young Jack O'Shaughnessy was a real beneficiary of it up forward. I think he kicked 4 in the last, and but he had a great game. So yeah, we got the win. It was probably a lot tougher than what the scoreboard looked, but we came away with the points.
A fantastic performance by the Ouyen United Kangas, and it sets it up but just nicely because we take a look at the premiership ladder after that effort, and it now puts you on the 24 points, 6-2. Irimple are 7-1. Your percentage is growing, and that's a good point. Wentworth at the top 8 and zip on 32 points, but they're not too far away in terms of percentage. So the Kangas have put some distance, 2 games between you and Robinvale Euston, and Merbeen back 2 games away. So an important win, I think, in the context of the season. Having a look at the other senior football matches played across in round 9 competition was a performance by Irimple to beat Redcliffs by 10 goals. Wentworth got a very dogged win over Robinvale down there at John James. It was 9-9 to 8-6, and it was Merbeen in another dogged win, 9-18 to 5-6 over South. Let's head to your reserve grade, and well, if there was such a thing as the performance by Jack O'Shaughnessy being the performance of the week, I'd almost say that the reserves have outdone them. They kicked 33 goals, 13 to Mildura, 2 behinds, and an old stager that knows me well, Dean Jardine, decided that he'd come back, and maybe it was a comeback of enormous proportions.
Comeback of the century. We'd been pleading with him just to come and give us a hand. He's such a great player, and he's been just a stalwart of the club. He's had some back injuries and been fighting a few little niggles, and we just said, mate, just sit somewhere, sit full forward, sit full back, wherever you want to go. Just come out and give us a little bit of your leadership, and yeah, he did turn it on. He had an absolute blinding game. Keeps that up, and he'll be back knocking on the door of the senior selection again. So had a really, really good game. There's a lot of contributors really, and we just seem to play really well. I doubt whether we've ever kicked a score like that, not in my living memory. But the boys just combined. We were really, really happy. In the second quarter, we everyone wanted to kick a goal. We nearly had most of the team up forward, so they had to get a little bit of just go back and play your positions, boys, and let's not all get too carried away. But they had a little bit of a listen and, just moved the footy really, really well. So best we've played for a long time.
14 individual goal scorers. You're right, everybody did kick a goal. It was going from anywhere and everywhere. But multiples to Dean with 6 and Leon Peacock, a great performance from him, 6. And Bailey Pengelly, 5. And then a range of players on 2 and singles. Dean Jardine, Simon Jardine, David Jeffries, Bailey Pengelly, Lockie Comrie and Leon Peacock, who turned it on for the Kangas. Wasn't the same, though, in the 18s. I was a little bit surprised at this. And, again, you've got a young bloke like Jack O'Shaughnessy who's been brought up to play senior football at the age of 15. It was a tougher ask when they come up against Mildura, 21-8 to 5-2 after the previous week and the bolter they had against Robinvale. This was probably a little bit disappointing, a bit of a come down for the lads.
Yeah, certainly was. And you can see why it's happening. They continue to lose their best players. So, yeah, with Sam out, Joel out, and then the next best player, the senior style again in young Jack. So, yeah, when they continually lose such pivotal players, it makes it really hard to structure up around them again. And, they run into a quality opposition who certainly, ran away with it. So the boys are obviously disappointed, but I don't think they could do much more with what they had to work with.
Yeah. I think in the end, what did you play with 15? Was that all you had on the list?
Not sure, mate. I'm not 100% sure on that. I thought we had a full team, but yeah, look, quite possibly, for sure.
Yeah. I think you might have had a shortened list. Billy Katanak kicked 5 goals. Going to talk about that. That is a magnificent performance. The only 5 goals and a starring best on ground.
Yeah, just a big kid. Loves his footy and... he's going really well, having a really, really good season, consistently in the best players, Bill.
Yeah, good on him. William Nile.
You got it.
Aidan Pengelly, Ethan Munro, Dusty. He's going to be the next Dustin Martin, Dusty O'Shaughnessy, and Ben Nile were the better players. Beautifully done by the Ouyen United Kangas 18s. They will get better if they can get their best side in the park. Maybe won't be able to do that too often for the rest of this season. And back into the 14-year-olds, they come up again, a very, very powerful outfit that Mildura have a lot of players to call upon. And so it, in the end, was 9 goals, 6 mercy to 0 on the score sheet. Probably mercied in the third quarter. So that was probably the encouraging thing that came out of that.
Yeah. Once again, the kids went out there and did their best. And look, they just need a few more years and a few more players. And look, they'll win more than they lose. I think they're sticking together well. That's a credit to them. Yeah,
a lot of kids on the sheet there too, which tells me that they're blooding new kids coming up from the 12s to play in the 14-year-old age group. Okay, let's go back to senior football, and we're playing this week. Your guys are having the bye. Let's probably ask the question before I get your tips on the other games that are playing. Is the bye at a good time for you in terms of maybe the fact that you played over the June long weekend, so this is a good time?
Yeah, absolutely. Some of the boys are really sore. Really, really looking towards this weekend off. So we desperately needed a week off to try and get a bit of recovery going. So everyone's very pleased that they can sit down and have the weekend off, maybe go and watch a bit of footy and relax, and absolutely couldn't have come quick enough.
Now, at the 30th of June, I know that you farmers out there at Underbull, you do some tax writing off and all of that. The books have got to be sorted out with the accountant. So does the Ouyen United Kangas, any late signings by the 30th of June?
Well, to answer your first question, I'm not sure I've got a tax problem. Wish I did, but anyway, we'll keep trying to work on that one. Mate, we do have a couple of things in the pipeline. We'll obviously we're trying to replace Sam O'Shaughnessy, so that's something that we're looking at the minute. We're running out of time, but we are in discussion, so hopefully we can pull off a very late coup to help us out in that regard. So, mate, maybe I'll have something for you next week.
Yes, that'll be the 1st of July program too. So we're interested to see what you have got for us on that occasion. Just a quick tip, South versus Irimple.
Irimple will get that one.
Mildura versus Wentworth.
Even though Wentworth are coming back to the pack, I think Wentworth will we'll get that one, no drama. So it's a pretty spiteful game, I think, last week from all reports. So they'll come out firing.
Well, they will. Imperials play Redcliffs.
Yeah, Imps will get that one done, I think, but a lot closer than people think.
Match of the round at John James Oval down at Robinvale. They play Merbein in what could be a very important game in terms of the top four.
You would think Robinvale, but I'll pick a draw.
Oh, it's going to be very tough to see who gets fourth place. Good to have you on board as always, calling it Andrew Wilsmore on the Ouyen United Kangas report. We'll catch up with you next week.
Cheers, mate. Have a good